Hi there, I'm Tara with the Hobby Lobby Creative Studio. Have you ever wanted to make your own jewelry but felt overwhelmed staring at all those little packages on the jewelry aisle at the store? Well, today I'm going to help you break past that feeling by telling you all about the tools and supplies used to make jewelry. Don't go away, we'll get started right after this. Today, I'll share lots of basic information that will help you shop that jewelry aisle like a pro. I'll cover tools, findings, and stringing materials. First, let's go over the tools used for jewelry making. One of the first things you'll need in your toolkit is a set of 4 pairs of jewelry pliers. When I'm making jewelry, most of the time, I work with a pair of pliers in each hand. I rarely use just my fingers to pick up and handle the small pieces used to make jewelry. First are chain nose pliers. These are your basic straight-tipped pliers and are good for picking up and holding your materials while you work. Second is a pair of bent nose pliers. These are just chain nose pliers with a curved tip. They are really good for detailed work because the bend makes it easier to see what you're working with. The third type of pliers you'll want to have is a pair of round nose pliers. These are extremely helpful when making loops in wire. You simply wrap the wire around the tips of these pliers to form a loop. Working at the very tip makes small loops, but moving further into the jaws allow you to make larger loops. And the last pair of pliers you should have in your toolkit is a pair of flush cutters. These are for cutting wire and chain and are a must-have for almost any jewelry project. Keep in mind that anytime you're cutting wire, it's a good idea to wear protective eyewear. The little pieces of wire you're cutting off can and will go flying. There are some other less commonly used pliers available, but they're for more specialized jobs. You probably won't need these right off the bat, but I'll still explain a few of them and what they do. Nylon jaw pliers. The jaws on these pliers have a protective nylon coating. These won't mark or mar the metal as you bend, shape, or sculpt wire. They are especially good when working with precious metals like sterling silver or gold. Split ring pliers. These pliers easily open split rings, which are like teeny tiny key rings. You simply hold the split ring between the tooth on these pliers and squeeze to open the ring. Bail making pliers. These pliers have 2 larger, different-sized barrels as the jaws. They are used to form bails and connectors out of sheets of metal, filigrees, or other components. You can also use them to form continuous loops with wire. Are you wondering what a bail is? It's the decorative connector that's used to hang a pendant from a necklace. Bead crimpers. The jaws of these funky-looking little pliers are made specifically to work with crimp beads. I'll go over what crimp beads are a little later. A bead mat is a piece of velvety material used as a work surface. The slight cushion of the material keeps all the small pieces from rolling around and also makes them easier to pick up. A bead design board is a flocked section tray that has grooves to lay out your design, as well as little compartments to hold your extra beads and findings. It even has measurements marked along the grooves, so you know how long your bracelet or necklace is going to be. Bead stoppers are great to have around. They are little springs that are placed on the end of beading wire or cord to keep your beads in place while you work. A pair of scissors is also useful for cutting cord and opening packages. And a desk lamp is a good idea to add extra light to your workspace. That covers most of the tools you'll need to get started. Now let's go over the little metal bits and pieces, known as findings, that go into making jewelry. Most findings are available in a variety of finishes. You'll see everything from shiny silver and gold to antique brass and copper. Head pins and eye pins are used to string beads on. A head pin has a flattened head at one end and looks a lot like a straight pin. An eye pin has a loop on one end. Both are available in different lengths and finishes. Jump rings are found everywhere in jewelry. They are mainly used as connectors, but can also be used decoratively to hang beads or chain from. The most common is round, but you'll also see shaped ones as well. Crimp beads are used to fasten the ends of a cord or wire to hold beads or other findings in place. To go along with crimp beads are crimp covers. These are exactly what they sound like, a cover to hide the crimp bead once it's been attached. Spacer beads are used as a decorative element. They create a nice accent between beads. Spacer bars are used when working with several strands of cord. They can look decorative, but also function to keep the spacing of the strands equal. Bead caps are a decorative accent typically added to one or both sides of a bead. They can also be used to cover the connection where several strands of cord or chain come together. Ear wires are the part of an earring that actually goes through the ear. There are many shapes and styles: fishhook, kidney, leverback, and more. What style you choose is really up to you. Clasps are the closure for a necklace or bracelet. These also come in a large variety of styles. You have spring, lobster, toggle, box, magnetic, and more. Some are quite simple, but some are very decorative as well as functional. Now, when it comes to stringing your findings and beads together, there are also a lot of choices. Here's a rundown of the options you'll find. Beading wire is great for stringing beads. It is actually multiple tiny strands of wire twisted together, then coated with nylon. The thickness and strand count varies, but all are nice and flexible, yet still very strong. Choosing the correct thickness is important. Fine or extra fine beading wire is good for beads with tiny holes, like very small seed beads or freshwater pearls. Medium beading wire is thicker and is considered a more all-purpose wire, while heavy beading wire is best for larger, heavier beads and gemstones. The number of individual strands used to make the wire will also vary. The higher the strand count, the more flexible the wire will be. Jewelry made with more flexible beading wire will have more movement and better draping ability. Metal wire has many uses in jewelry. You can create your own findings, connectors, and clasps by forming wire. You can be as simple or as decorative as you want. You can also use it to string sections of beads together or even wrap a large bead or gem to make a cool pendant. Memory wire is a very rigid metal wire that holds its original shape. It is sold in coils that are pre-sized for bracelets or necklaces. It's mainly used to string beads on because it's very difficult to reshape this wire. There are special cutters made just for memory wire. Attempting to cut this type of wire with your regular cutters will damage the blades. Chain is another stringing material that comes in a huge variety of options. You'll see many different link styles and shapes. There are also lots of finishes and weights. Chain can be used as a decorative element in a project or as a functional element to hang beads or connect sections of a project together. Cord comes in many types of materials: satin, hemp, leather, and more. These can be knotted, used for beading, or made into connectors. Stretch cord is a type of elastic cord used in jewelry making. It's easy to use and is great for kids' jewelry projects because it can simply be knotted instead of needing a clasp closure. Well, there you have it. Now that you know what's in all those little packages on the jewelry aisle, be sure to check out our other Jewelry 101 videos to learn how to begin using these materials to make your own handmade jewelry. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.